Ever watch someone make a $5 million mistake and then point the finger at you? That's my story, and I didn't even have to lift a finger to prove them wrong. I just sat by my living room window, sipping coffee, watching nature deliver a lesson sharper than any courtroom drama. For 12 years, I've lived beside a spillway in Oak Ridge, Tennessee, and let me tell you, that ditch has more wisdom than most people I've met. This tale still makes me shake my head, maybe even chuckle now that the dust has settled. But it's a wild ride, so buckle up. I'm Tom Grayson, and I've called 112 Willow Lane home since 2013. The spillway behind my house isn't some cute little stream you'd see in a real estate ad. It's the lifeline that keeps our neighborhood from turning into a swamp. When I bought this place, the old owner, a grizzled guy named Hank, walked me out back and pointed at the unassuming trickle of water. "Tom," he said, dead serious, "that spillway's your best friend and your worst enemy. When storms hit, it's a beast." I thought he was exaggerating. Then came the spring of 2015, a Tennessee downpour that turned the sky black in 15 minutes. Water roared through that spillway, climbing halfway up the fence posts. I was out there, knee-deep in mud, yanking open drainage gates because the city crew was nowhere to be found. That day, I learned, you don't mess with a spillway in Tennessee. Over the years, I've tuned my property to work with that spillway like a dance partner. Every pipe, every slope, every drain in my yard is set to guide water where it wants to go. I've seen it handle everything: gentle rains, biblical deluges, you name it. It's never failed us. Most folks around here don't give it a second thought until it saves their basements. Then, in late 2023, enter Laura Mitchell, a slick-talking corporate consultant who moved into the fancy brick house at the end of Willow Lane. Laura was the type who could sell ice to a penguin, all charm and PowerPoint slides. Within months, she'd sweet-talked her way to president of our HOA, promising to revolutionize Oak Ridge with world-class amenities. I should have known trouble was brewing when she used the phrase maximizing community potential at her first meeting. Laura's big idea? A $5 million community center gym, lounge. The work slapped right on the empty lot next to my spillway. That patch of dirt had stayed untouched for 40 years for a reason, but Laura saw it as her ticket to glory. When she pitched it to me, I tried to keep it civil. "Laura," I said, leaning on my fence, "that spot floods every spring. Last year, it was under 4 feet of water." She gave me this pitying smile, like I was some backward yokel. "Tom, we've got top-tier engineers. That old ditch of yours, we'll modernize it." I pushed back, mentioning the National Weather Service flood maps, but she waved me off with a glossy brochure showing her dream center, my spillway reduced to a pretty backdrop. That's when I knew. She didn't respect the water. To her, it was just scenery. I stopped arguing. There's a kind of quiet that settles when someone dismisses you like that, not peace, but a gut-deep certainty that disaster's coming. I went home, pulled out my old storm logs, and started documenting. Photos, rainfall records, videos of past floods, I cataloged it all. The forecast was already hinting at a brutal storm season, and Laura's construction was set to finish right in its path. I wondered if I should have emailed the HOA board, rallied the neighbors. But when someone like Laura looks through you, it's hard not to feel like you're shouting into a void. The grand opening was a spectacle. Laura went all out, live-streamed speeches, champagne flutes, even a string quartet. She called the spillway a stunning natural feature that enhanced her vision. I watched from my window, biting back a laugh. The National Weather Service had issued storm warnings that morning, but Laura wasn't about to let a little weather ruin her moment. She'd invited the mayor, the local paper, and half of Oak Ridge. My neighbor, Sam Carter, a quiet guy who avoids drama, leaned over our shared fence. "Think she knows what's coming?" he asked, eyeing the darkening sky. I shook my head. "She thinks engineers can outsmart a storm." By 3 p.m., the party was in full swing until the sky cracked open. If you've never seen a Tennessee thunderstorm, picture this. The horizon goes from blue to ink black in minutes. Wind howls, bending oaks like straws. Then the rain hits, not drops, but walls of water that rattle your roof. The spillway woke up, swelling from a trickle to a torrent. I watched Laura's fancy patio furniture float away like driftwood, her white tablecloths trailing in the muck. The live stream caught it all: catering tables bobbing, guests fleeing, and Laura, drenched, screaming into her phone. Social media lit up. Didn't Tom warn her about that spillway? One neighbor posted. Another. This is what happens when you ignore the locals. The aftermath was chaos, but Laura didn't miss a beat. A week later, I got a certified letter, thick with legalese, claiming my spillway caused the flood. Me, the guy who'd been preaching about flood risks for months. They wanted $300,000 in upgrades to fix it, split among the neighbors. I sat on my porch, rereading that letter, feeling the world tilt. Was I the bad guy? Had I missed something? Then I dug into my files and found the city's zoning map. That lot was marked in red, protected water easement. No structures allowed. Laura hadn't just screwed up, broken the law. The next HOA meeting was standing room only. Laura rolled out charts and buzzwords about infrastructure modernization. I waited my turn, then stood. Laura, I said, calm as I could. Did you check the zoning for that lot? It's a protected flood zone. The room went still. Laura's smile twitched. Tom, our engineers followed all modern codes, she said, but her voice cracked. Then Ed Larson, a retired civil engineer who'd lived here since the 80s, unrolled the original subdivision plans. This center's built across the spillway's main channel, he said. It's like damming a river. The crowd turned. Neighbors started shouting about ignored warnings, skyrocketing HOA fees, and who'd pay for the mess. Then came the bombshell. Mike Reynolds, an HOA board member, accidentally emailed the entire neighborhood an internal thread. The center's cost had ballooned to $9 million, with millions funneled to Laura's buddies through shady consulting fees. The neighborhood exploded. Online, folks called it Laura's Titanic. Mike, maybe out of guilt, started demanding receipts at board meetings. Laura snapped, her cool facade crumbling. We have experts, she yelled, but no one was buying it. A cryptic call came next. A nervous woman's voice. Tom, we need to talk about the center. There's more you don't know. The line went dead. Against my better judgment, I met her Claire Evans, a city planner at a diner 20 miles out. She was shaking but furious. Laura had fast-tracked the permits through an emergency process meant for disasters, dodging flood reviews. Worse, she'd gotten the land rezoned just weeks before building. Someone at City Hall helped her, Claire whispered. This wasn't just incompetency, smelled like corruption. The final showdown came at the next meeting. I brought Sarah Coleman, a property lawyer who'd studied the case. She didn't mince words. Laura exceeded her authority, Sarah said, projecting a video of Laura calling the center a minor landscaping project to skirt approval. She violated zoning laws, exposing every homeowner to millions in liability. The room froze. Laura's face drained of color. Sarah dropped the hammer. The HOA's insurance wouldn't cover illegal builds. We could all be on the hook. Laura walked out, silent, her empire in ruins. 3 weeks later, 89% of Oak Ridge voted her out. Mike took over, ordering an independent study. The verdict? The center was a legal and structural disaster. Demolition was the only option. Watching bulldozers tear it down in March 2025 felt heavy, not triumphant. Laura faced $1 million in personal liability. Her house hit the market, the price dropping weekly. One day, our eyes met over the fence. She gave a small nod, maybe an apology, maybe defeat, then vanished. The lot's now a native garden, wildflowers and benches blending with the spillway's flow. I put up a sign, honor the current. Nature prevails. Kids play there, splashing in puddles, oblivious to the $9 million mistake that once stood. The HOA's tighter now, with real oversight. I got a check for my trouble, but gave it back for more plants. Last month, an HOA 60 miles away emailed, facing their own flood zone fiasco. I'm helping them, hoping they dodge our bullet. So what do you think? Was Laura a schemer, or just clueless? Should I have fought harder early on, or was letting the water prove me right the smarter play? Could you forgive someone who cost your neighborhood millions? Drop your thoughts below, hit like if this saga hooked you, and subscribe for more stories where pride meets a hard fall. What's the wildest thing your HOA's pulled? I'm all ears.